All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, December the 10th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Well, hello there.
How are you on this fine evening?
Doing all right. Trying to figure out where to file this book.
You want to defile a book? What?
No, file it.
Oh.
Like with an emery board? No. If I'm gonna put it back, what shelf do I put this on?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering.
There you go. I just switched the background. I just realized this was the background. We had the regular background up, and it just occurred to me. In all these years, I never made us a holiday background. We have holiday backgrounds on the cover art and everything else for each show, but
just not a festive.
Not a festive one. I got this one. It's winter. We can use that for tonight.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. We got the this too. There we go. Now there's a wreath behind the logo at the top.
Okay. I was like looking to the left, so I didn't see the difference all the way up to the right.
There you go.
You got to remember, my monitor is like literally this
like a football field. Yeah. You can actually sit at your desk and go like this.
I actually can.
Yeah.
It's watching tennis on. It's great.
It's great. Yeah, exactly.
No, it's
when really the ball flies out of the screen that you have a problem. That's
the problem. No, but I can have like two forums open at once at work and just go back and forth between them. It's great. Most people just have like an array of monitors. I just have the one.
It's
just this one.
There you go.
Put it this way: when your techie son comes over for the first time and looks at it and goes, "Well, that's obscene."
There you go.
Yeah, you know it's pretty big.
Yeah, guy. Well, that works.
Yes.
It's all good. So how are you on this fine December evening?
Still got a little bit of that cough left. So
you?
Yeah, you still probably hear it. That was not put on. That was actually, it was probably psychosomatic at that point, but
probably.
But I think beer will help it.
I would almost guarantee it.
So I think it's
or at least help you.
It's time to medicate.
I would imagine so. So I think we should, before we do anything else, I think we should crack our first beers. And we have a reason, but we're going to do that first anyway.
Yeah. So my first beer, I mean, I've got so much damn shilling in the fridge right now. So I figured, let me open a shilling.
I know.
And you know my favorite mug is shilling, right? My favorite glassware.
I'm well aware.
That's this sucker, this dimpled mug.
Mm-hmm.
There is a German name for that. I forget what it is. But I decided to do Patrine 11 degree.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the Pull-Up Mavi. Lager. So, what are you drinking?
I am going to drink, I didn't pour it yet, but I'm going to drink, let me put my crawl up there, Stargrazer from Bauhaus Brew Labs in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Very nice.
All right. It is a black lager. It's a black lager.
It says lager. L-A-G-E-R.
Or Schwarzbier, but it's a black lager.
It's still a lager.
Mm-hmm. And a lager. Is a lager.
Yes.
A Schwarzbier is a lager.
Yes.
And this is pouring really nice.
Yeah. And a lager is a bottom fermenting beer.
Bottom fermenting beer, yes. Cold
fermentation. So it's different types of yeast used for lager.
Correct.
And we're just stumbling through all this because we're just trying to figure out when we should.
I think we should say right now.
Happy National Lager.
Happy National Lager Day, everybody.
There we go.
There you go. Cheers, right there. Very good. Ooh, nice.
That's very nice.
Very nice. Very tasty. It is National Lager Day. It is. This is the 5th National Lager Day there has been since we started the podcast.
Yep.
We did not celebrate the first one. It stuck by us.
Yeah, it did.
It was.
I don't know how long National Lager Day has been around, though.
That's true. That is true. But here's the thing. Even if it did happen, because it happens on the day, right? It's December 10th.
Yep.
Here. So the first year we did the podcast, 2020, December 10th was a Thursday. And you and I were working, we wouldn't have been able to, that was
I was in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island and the whole 9 yards, right? So, so that it got biased. But you were doing the show. Not that we don't do the show remote. We do the show remote all the time. But we got biased. So the next year was a Friday. So you and I went live from Source Brewing in Colton.
Yes, we did.
Year after that, it was Saturday. We went live from Bird's Mouth.
Bird's Mouth, yeah. And our buddy from Source was there.
And Greg from Source, who was on the first one, he came by.
Quite coincidentally, he crashed the party, so to speak, because he wasn't technically invited.
Exactly. And then last year,
very happily.
And last year it was on a Sunday, and we did it live from Wild Air in Wild Air Beer Works in.
Sitting in the VW microbus.
VW microbus, exactly. So this is the first year, regardless, that it has fallen on a day that we do the actual podcast. So,
and it's been around for at least 14 years.
14. All right, fair enough.
At least 14. So 2010 was the first instance of anybody remembering it, but being celebrated. But it may have been before that.
There you go.
So we'll see. At least 14 years.
Let's see. But this is again the first year that we're actually celebrating it live on the actual Tuesday evening Lager Room Guys podcast. So, so cheers, everybody! Happy National Lager Day.
Oh, I guess I have to drink again. Damn.
It means you have to drink again. Yeah. Let's put it up again. Happy National Lager Day. There we go. And we'll talk more about lagers sparse throughout the show. So.
I'll tell you one thing. In college, I was really, really bad at drinking games.
Okay.
Intentionally. Because when I was taught these drinking games, I could not understand the concept that if you failed, your punishment was that you had to drink.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I played quarters is like if this was.
Once again, he touched his monitor cable, and this happens all the time for him.
Yes,
and he has to reconnect and then change his mic back and everything else. So he has
There's the cam.
He'll be back in a minute. There's the cam.
There's the cam.
And then switch the audio. There we go.
Okay, so anyway.
Right. So do yourself a favor. Try not to hit that again.
Well, what I was going for was like so close to it. Anyway, so if this was the quarter, this is the way I'd play quarters. I'd go. Okay, I drink.
And drink, right.
Yeah. And just get tossed over my shoulder.
Well, what's funny is you say that. We had a friend, you know him, won't dime him out on the show, but you know him.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, I'm going back, high school, right?
Oh, then I know the friend.
Right.
He tends to be silent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be it could be one of two or three people you know.
I'm thinking you might be talking about the person who only drinks once a year now.
Maybe not. It could be somebody that's on one of the other podcasts. It could be a number of people.
Okay.
But anyway, let's put it this way: both of them were there. Okay. Whichever one it was, you know what I mean.
Everyone.
Anyway, so point being, it was the first time he ever played quarters or thumper or any of those drinking games, right? And we told him that basically the same thing, that when you got the quarter in the glass, when you won, you got to drink.
See, that's good.
All right. So he was, and talking about beginner's luck. I mean, he would have been stone cold sober, and we would have all been annihilated the way he was playing.
If we had the usual rules.
If we had the regular rules, right? Yeah. So yeah, he had he in turn he was you say 3 sheets, he was like 4 or 5. But
interesting.
So it was
remember, I don't know if you knew the game Drunk Driving. It was with cards, and I figured I had a cheat on it, and I got one of my friends. Put this way, when I left his apartment, he was curled up in the fetal position on his couch, giggling. That's how drunk I had him.
There you go. Gotta love it. We got a comment here. Let's put it up here. Brian Boak, cheers. I am back. Cheers, Brian.
Cheers.
Cheers. Good to see you on the show. Comment away. What are you drinking, Brian? What are you drinking on National Lager Day, and I mean, it could be Gentleman Jack, and that's fine. Just curious what you're drinking. That's all.
Just what you're drinking tonight.
Just what you're drinking tonight.
Yeah, this is kind of a low key National Lager Day.
Yeah, kind of, Blue Reserve,
because we had other plans.
We did have other plans. Our other plans were tonight
kind of involved my duds.
Mm-hmm. So, folks, you've been aware. Anybody, longtime listeners, anybody watching the show, listening to the show on the audio podcast, there have been times in the past where our scheduled guest has needed to reschedule. And we either did just the two of us because we were able to
like we're doing tonight.
Like we're doing now, but there's a caveat. Because we had time to reschedule and replan what we were going to do for the show, so we could do it, or we got a fill-in guest, either way, right?
Yeah.
So as it turns out, tonight our guest was Trevor Greer, the owner of Coven Brewing in the Strip District of Pittsburgh, PA.
Not the Stripper District.
Not the Stripper District. Totally different place.
If you're watching, calm down.
Yeah. We'll take you there, but
James is in his car already.
Yeah, but he's on his way already. Yeah. But in any event, he wound up going into a business meeting, literally last minute, maybe 10 minutes before we were supposed to start the show. So we were just not able to. We weren't able to change anything. We weren't able to. Long story short, we're still doing the Coven Brewing show tonight, just without Trevor,
which is a little weird.
It's just the two of us.
I did have
talking about Coven Brewing.
I did have a good suggestion, and it turned into maybe I get a ventriloquist doll anytime this happens.
Okay.
And the ventriloquist doll can pretend to be the guest.
Oh, we could do that. We could
try to do that.
I can do that actually. Here, hold on. I have a paper.
You have a sock?
No, I have a paper towel.
Paper towel?
Hi. It doesn't work.
Hey, Mr. Towel.
Hi.
If this were bigger, I could do this. Oh, you know what? Let me take one of my socks off.
Oh, don't even tell. Please don't do that.
And then we can do harm.
All right. So we're not doing that.
No, we're not going to do that.
We're going to do that.
That's an awful idea.
Brian, there you go.
Let's get rid of the other one while I'm at it. So both my feet are cold.
One on, one off is not a good thing. I'd rather both feet be cold than one foot be cold and one foot be hot.
I'm probably going to run grab my socks a little later on in the show.
Brian just commented again. He said he is drinking his English mild, which is fantastic.
That's an ale, but it's a fantastic ale.
Right. But he took a sample of Monster Mash that is fermented with lager yeast. So that will be a second beer. So there you go.
There we go.
And there you have it. Awesome. That's awesome. So we will be talking about Coven Brewing. We'll be talking about Pittsburgh. We'll be drinking a couple of Coven beers that I brought back from when I was out in Pittsburgh a few weeks ago. And that we're supposed to have on with Trevor, but we'll have him back on. Just unless we get some beers, we just won't have any Covens those nights. But in any event,
but a couple of them are IPAs, and we want to make sure that they're as fresh as possible.
Exactly. The beers that if we can't reschedule for a couple of months, we didn't want to sit on those that long. So
because we're booked into February at this point.
We are booked into February at this point.
We've got an exciting one coming up in February that we're not going to talk about just yet. No. It's still nascent, still in the works. We've got a meeting on it this Thursday morning. So it's going to be a special one. You're not going to want to miss that one. It'll be our pre-Valentine's Day show.
It will be just before Valentine's, whatever the Tuesday before Valentine's Day is. I'm looking right now just in case.
I think we did it 2 Tuesdays before Valentine's. Didn't we suggest that so that there was time for the thing have impact for?
I think you're right. Yep. Yeah, you're right. It was. So as Valentine's Day is February 14th, obviously a Friday. It's the Tuesday, the 4th.
The 4th.
Mondays, yeah.
So that'll be. I am so looking forward to this. So looking forward. This will be a good show. It'll be unlike any show we've done.
It really will be. Will be. It'll be really good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
We got a lot of good shows coming up between now and then too. Next week we have Marty Nagel.
Oh, the return of Marty Nagel.
The return of Marty Nagel will be definitely waxing nostalgic about some craft beers of the past. We'll be talking about Chicago a lot. We'll be talking about the American Craft Beer Hall of Fame.
Okay, thanks for telling. Okay, good. Now I know.
Oh, you knew that. The week after that is the 2 shows after that are both on Monday nights.
Yes, they are.
The Tuesday nights those weeks are Christmas Eve.
Those are Eves
and New Year's Eve, so we won't be doing shows those nights.
And we're not talking the sci-fi multiplayer role-playing game out of Iceland.
No, not that.
I used to play that, actually.
That's not surprising.
But then when they started, like, for you to advance, it's like, no, you've got to pay this much. And it's like, okay, I'm done.
Exactly. So, but in any event, we'll be doing the Christmas week show. Annual show.
The show will not be weak.
The show will not be.
It's not a Chris. It's WEEK.
WEEK. Yes. No A in that involved.
Yes.
Except in Christmas, there's an A in Christmas.
And there's an A in team.
Right. No I in team, but there is an I.
Well, actually, if you highlight it properly, there is an I in team. It's hidden in the A.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how you draw your A, but yes,
yeah,
I guess. But in any event,
it's got to be a capital A.
That show will feature, as always, traditionally, Dave's brother Brian and Alacron, all the way from far west Texas.
This one, like I said before, it's going to be really interesting to see the two of them on the same show.
Totally opposite ends of the spectrum.
This is going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait for this show.
This can be good. And then the following week is our big beer show. It's our night to get basically 4 or 5 sheets. All of us.
Yeah, I've got. I think I got 5 beers lined up for it. At least 4. I've got 4 lined up.
I've got 6. I'm not having all 6, but I have 6 that I'm going to pull from. I'm gonna, whatever I don't drink, I'll drink the next day.
Yeah, if you make it to 6, I'll just break into the Malort again.
Oh, there's no way I'm going to make it to 6. No, if I hit 5, it'll be shocked. I'll definitely hit 4, but we'll go from there. Coven were 12 ounce, so there's a possibility. But
we'll see. But I think I need to go find one more. One's what I drink on the show every year, and that's I drink because I usually drink on the Christmas beer show this year's Christmas bomb.
Yep.
And then on the big beer show, I drink last year's Christmas bomb.
Right.
So that won't change. I'll be drinking that, and I've got a couple of others. There's one there. There's one over there. One's a classic. And just by saying it's a classic, I've pretty much already told John what it is.
Yeah, I can pretty much guess.
I mean, classic.
Mm-hmm.
So, does
it say classic on the label?
I think it does. So you know what it is.
There you go.
It's not Santa Claus.
No, it is not. In any event, I have a few good ones too. But then we get into January and we got our annual smoke show. But
oh yes, and we've got so Aslan from Main Street Brewing sent us a Grodzicki.
Mm-hmm.
So John and I will be drinking that on the show. I'm really looking forward to that because they do some great stuff. I can't wait to taste that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a few new ones that I'm having on the show that we haven't had yet, and I may actually have. I have like honestly right now I probably have 12 different Rauk beers. That obviously I'm not drinking 12 on the show, so I have to pick the ones I want to have on the show.
Well, I've still got some left over from last year's show.
I don't have to have anything like I'll drink those on my own. I have a few that I had on last year's show, but of new ones, I've been between Tavor and is that somebody knocking on the ceiling? Or?
No, I think new tenants moved in upstairs,
and they're hammering.
They're getting hammered. No, we're getting hammered. They're hammering.
I gotcha.
They might be hanging pictures. A swing.
Well, yeah. It could be anything.
You never know.
All right. Let's talk about Coven a little bit. Actually, let's finish these lagers, pour up Coven, and then we'll talk about Coven.
Okay, we'll do that. But we're still going through. Yeah, we still got like I said, the aforementioned pre-Valentine's Day show. That's going to be a fun one. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah, we got the rescheduled Shilling and some other fun stuff. We're booked. We're approaching March right now, bookings. So
so that's a lot of fun. So I'm almost done with mine, Johnny.
I have another sip or two, and I'm good.
That's good. That's good. Well, while you're finishing that, I'll start the conversation with Coven because.
Let's pour a beer because I just finished it.
Oh, you just finished it. Okay. So because I met Trevor first. It was.
I met Trevor first.
Well, no, that's why I said I'm just rationalizing why I'm starting this. But it's the story is relevant to later in the show.
True story.
It was 4th of July. It was.
It sounds like you're writing a book. It was 4th of July.
It was a dark and stormy night. It was a dark and stormy night. But it was really hot that day. And Carrie and I parked around the back of the brewery, about a block away. We walk up. And as we walk up, there's at the side of the brewery, at the side door, there's this dude with a grill, this big, massive hair, and this like kind of one of those mesh shirts like Sean Astin wore in 50 First Dates.
Yeah, right.
It's not his fault. His head shaped that way. Grilling hot dogs out the side of the brewery.
I love it.
So we talked to him for a little bit, and then we go inside the brewery, found out this is Trevor, the owner of the brewery. Mm-hmm. And the reason he was grilling hot dogs is he had booked a food truck that day. And the food truck never showed up. Well, they canceled. And he decided...
Is that right?
Yeah. So he decided he's not going to let his guests starve.
Right.
So he goes out, buys a bunch of hot dogs, starts grilling them. A lot of the locals and regulars to the brewery, they bring in a bunch of food.
Solid.
So there's trays. Yes, they have salad. There's.
It was solid what Trevor did.
Oh, yeah, burger. Okay, I thought you said salad. There's trays. There was like chips, all this. He grills a pretty damn good hot dog. I got to tell you that. So that was but that and the fact that so many of his regulars had brought in food to make up for the errant food truck, to me, that's a town brewery. That's a neighborhood brewery. That's
a neighborhood that's a neighborhood brewery and great, great banging upstairs. I mean, great,
maybe that's what they're doing.
Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're grilling hot dogs. Let's call it that.
We'll call it grilling hot dogs.
There you go. It's a euphemism. But, that's definitely solid. You know what? The tap room, I got to be honest with you, was really, really cool.
It is. It's not huge.
It's not huge at all. It's you walk in, there's what? There's probably maybe 8 seats along the window.
Yep.
And then there's 2 or 3 high tops with 4 seats at each.
Yeah.
And that's about it. And then along the wall, there's 1.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, it's not that big at all.
And the bar.
And then, which has 2 stools?
2, I think it has 2 stools at it. Yeah.
There's like 2 stools there.
So it's not a huge tap room, but what's really cool is then they do specialize, and obviously if Trevor were on, he'd talk about this, but they do other things. Obviously, this first beer we're drinking, why don't we tell everybody what it is, first of all?
Oh, this one? This beer right here?
That beer right there, yes.
This is microprocessed.
It's a cream ale.
And I'm drinking out of proper glassware.
It's a cream ale with whole melon. Whole melon. You were drinking out of your Coven glass. Look at that.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Hence the little thing under my name there. I'm not the witch. I'm not the witch. Yeah. But in any event, I'm a sandwich. No, sorry.
So now they do other styles. Do.
You said do. Sorry.
do. They do other styles, but they they specialize in IPAs and sours.
Yes.
And so much so that every single one of the high tops and the tables have bottles of Tums on them.
They did not have that while I was there.
Oh, they didn't have that?
No, the Tums weren't out when I was.
Every table has a big bottle of Tums on it. Just have at it as you're drinking your.
Well, they're also down the street from Lowland, which specializes in sours. So if you're hitting the one right after the other, you're going to need the Tums.
Right. This is true. And it's not far away at all. In fact, it's maybe 4 or 5 blocks away from 11th Hour.
Which was closed when we were there.
Which was closed when you were there.
They're closed on 4th of July.
There you go. You should go upstairs and get them on the show.
Oh, my goodness. This is... We think people moved in. We don't know if it's the landlord up there fixing the place up for the next tenants or not.
Lovely.
Because we know it was vacant. Because it was really quiet up there for a bit.
So Mr. Hinkles, just take your broom and just start hitting the ceiling and telling them to...
this is like...
stop it.
This is almost reminiscent of back when I was in Rhode Island with the Centaur upstairs.
Oh, Matt, that was even worse.
Remember that epic?
Oh yeah, that was great.
Hey, at least I turned it into something fun for everybody.
This is very true. How's your microprocessors?
It's funny because I'm not sure I've ever had a cream ale this bitter.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, it's got Huell melon in it.
Yeah, Huell melon. It's so when you get the hops that throw melon,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times it's like either cassava or what's the green melon?
Honeydew.
Honeydew. Just like your list.
Right. Yeah.
It's it's kind of along those lines. It's still melon. This is bitter melon.
It is.
Who throws a bitter melon flavor? Like so some of the, if you've ever had pickled Asian melon, that's bitter melon.
It is bitter melon. Pickled Asian melon is it? Pickled Asian melon. Pickled.
Stop. Just channeled somebody there who goes unmentioned. Stop.
Anyway, but yeah, no, it's definitely it's because you can taste that it's a cream ale, right? It's not a pale ale. It's not an IPA by any means. So it's definitely there's cream ale notes to it. There's cream ale features and
yeah, the yeast comes out.
Yep,
the yeast comes out. And then for those who are not that familiar with cream ales, everyone's like, oh, I don't want a cream ale. I don't want anything too heavy. Cream ales, the name's kind of a misnomer. They're not supposed to be creamy. There's not what's a cream ale is it an ale with lager yeast or a lager with ale yeast?
It's a lager with ale yeast.
Yeah, lager with ale yeast. So it's cold fermented with ale yeast.
Right.
Cold top fermented.
Cold top fermented.
Yes. It doesn't necessarily leave a thick mouthfeel to it, and this doesn't. This has got a nice crisp mouthfeel to it,
and it's definitely and a lot of people don't like. I mean, some of your cream ales. I mean, they're big, especially the ones with corn. Right?
Oh, the corn bombs, yeah,
the corn bombs.
The ones where they close, they make sure that the brew kettle's closed during a particular portion where that gas that just throws cream corn. Because you're supposed to off gas that, but some people like to capture that.
Leave it in there, yeah. But I got to be honest with you.
That happens in Latrobe, I believe.
Corn bombs that are done well, I don't mind. I actually don't mind the flavor of those if they're done well.
What's that chemical called again?
It'll come to me. I'll
3 letters.
Yeah.
But go on with your thought.
I'll think of it. But in any event, they DME, I'll think of it. But whatchamacallit? I enjoy those, whatever. This
DMS.
And it was DMS. Yeah, DMS.
Dimethyl sulfide.
Right. Dimethyl sulfide, right.
You had the D and the M.
I did.
Yes. You have many DMs.
Well, too many DMs. That's the freaking problem. You guys. But in any event, yeah, I do like those corn.
Well, we'll say what's your definition of DM? Because my definition of DM there was dick move.
Oh, those, yeah. Well, I got many of those too.
Yes.
But in any DMs, direct,
direct messages.
Direct messages.
Oh yeah, no, that's not where I was going with that. No.
Yeah. In any event, as I said, I do like corn bombs if they're done well. They're horrible if they're not done well.
Just like anything.
Right. I mean, more so than they would be if they weren't corn bombs. Is my point.
Right.
But in any event, this is very light bodied behind that, so it's not that.
Yeah.
It's not, the malt is definitely subdued, but the Huell melon hops, that bitter melon like you're talking about, is definitely in the forefront. So it's an odd but interesting beer. Because it's not anything. It's not like really a lot of other things. It's like, the only way I could describe it is if it was like a really, really super light pale ale.
Yeah.
But
same thing.
Had a very well defined, bitter hop presence that's not too over the top.
With a little bit more body than an IPL.
With a little bit more body than an IPL, right? Exactly.
Right. Well, I'm sorry, cold IPA.
Yeah, IPL's a thing of the past. Dude, I mean, coming to 2024, you're going back 10 years. Come on. Cold IPA, bud. Let's go.
Still like IPA.
Yeah. I'm waiting for 2034. What's it going to be then?
They'll come up with some other kind of.
No, they go back to IPL. It's like we're going to go back 20 years and dig up IPL.
This is a retro IPL.
There you go.
And we also happen to have a cold IPA.
Yeah.
What?
Right. It's not. Yeah. It's different from an IPL or a cold IPA. It's definitely different than that. But well, cold. I mean, the brewing process of cold IPAs and IPLs is different.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah.
It's not the same thing renamed because an IPL.
Yeah. There's.
Yeah. But in any event, an IPL, cold IPA is cold fermented ale.
You're the opposite of a cream. No, right. Same thing as a cream.
Similar, yeah. So, but in any event, my point being, this is definitely a unique beer, and it's pretty well done. So, cheers to Trevor for doing this.
Right. Cheers, Trevor.
We'll finish this, and then we'll have our IPAs. I actually brought a fourth beer up with me, another lager if I needed to, depending on how fast we got through these.
I've got the fridge right there.
There you go. So
all right, slide on over, grab a beer, and slide on back.
Slide on back. So let's talk about Coven for a little bit. We talked about the tap room. Yep. It's a very I don't want to say the word cozy because cozy denotes tiny. It's not tiny.
No,
but it's not big. But cozy.
It's snug.
Yeah, but cozy in the context that I'm using it in right now is denoting the warmth factor of it. It's like.
Well, it was very warm on.
Well, I can imagine on 4th of July. Yeah,
it was very warm.
This was the last week in October we were there. So
probably not as warm.
No, not so much. But it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
In October it's pretty cool.
It wasn't warm. It was warm. It was pretty cool that it was a warm tap room. Warm and inviting in that respect is what I mean. But in any event,
that's interesting. Well, the part of it, what makes it inviting, are the people inside, right? The regulars are very welcoming.
Everybody, like literally everybody that was in there when we walked in. I don't know if they were regulars or just people that were there, obviously, because the first time I was there. Anytime it's the 6th or 8th time or whatever I've been to Pittsburgh. First time I was at that brewery. And we should make mention too that Trevor actually before he opened it, I think they're open 2 years now. I think it's 2.
What do you think?
I don't know.
Can you read the back of the shirt?
No, I can't.
You can't.
I see open, and then I was.
Does that help?
2022, 2 years old. Yeah, 2 years old. Yeah. There you go. So, but in any event,
back of the chair was blocked.
Before that, he worked for Dancing Gnome.
Yes.
Dancing Gnome. He was over on the north side,
and he is a little gnomish, so I can see how that works.
But in any event, I hadn't been there. I've been there. This is the 3rd time that I've been in Pittsburgh since they opened, and it's the first time I went. So,
on somebody's recommendation,
would be you.
Yeah, that would be you. I think you've got to get to Coven. Yeah. But the people there are very friendly. I think Carrie and I had conversations with a whole bunch of people while we're there.
Right.
And then Trevor came and sat at our table and talked to us for a bit. So we had a lot of fun there. It was very warm, very inviting.
Absolutely. My case in point. And that, like I said, I don't know that the people that were there when we were there were regulars or not. Either way, they were all warm and inviting. We literally probably at one point or another had a conversation with almost everybody that was in the tap room. Again, not a huge tap room, but almost everybody.
Which is very easy to do without even leaving your chair.
Pretty much, yeah. But,
you may have to raise your voice for that guy over there.
And it was a Sunday. We were there. We were out there for the Giants-Steelers game on Monday night. This was Sunday, and he had football on, so the games were on. I think the Eagles were on, and there was another game. I had a couple games on, but we were talking football, we were talking beer, and a number of other things. It was really. We were talking some food too, because the Strip District. Anybody that has been to Pittsburgh and knows what the Strip District is, it's a really cool area of town.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good food. There's a lot of good drink. There's a lot of good liquid. There's a lot of good entertainment, if you will, even. Not strippers. Sorry, James and Tom. but there's a lot to do there, and it's really a really cool area. And this is kind of far east, not far east. No.
It's
further east of the Strip District. I mean, it's part of it, right? But it goes up into, as if you're going back up the hill, and I forget what that area of town is called, but it's like at the beginning of it. It's right end of it, beginning of it, however you want to look at it. But
it's there's a lot of breweries in that region too. Mm-hmm. It's north something. It'll come to me. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but yeah, no, it's a really neat area. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, being there on 4th of July, there was just not a lot of. Was it like Haynesville or something?
Might be.
Haynesville district or something along those lines. At any rate,
well, there's a lot, like you said, there's a lot of breweries. Low Lev is right there.
Yep.
11th Hour is not too far away. You go a little bit further up the road and make a right and go down a couple blocks. You're at
Lawrenceville.
You're at Trace Brewing. There's one of my favorite taco places anywhere, and I live in Belmar. And Belmar's a small town. We have like
you've got about 18. I thought you had about 18.
Right. But it's one of my favorite taco places. Condado Tacos. Condado Tacos. I'm sorry, Condado Tacos.
Condado. You didn't tell me about that before I went.
I think I did. I don't think you had the time to go. I'm pretty sure that's what the case was, but I might not have.
I probably just either of that or I just didn't listen to you.
It could be a factor.
That happens from time to time.
From time to time, yeah, absolutely. But very good. Now it's not your traditional Mexican place, but the tacos they do there are definitely they do have their own spin to them, and they're really, really good. They really are. And I had a burrito there too while I was there the last time when we were up there. We went after we went to Coven first, and we went to 11th Hour, then we went up to Condado Tacos, and yeah, the food was fantastic. So, nice. But in any event, there's a lot to do around there. It's really, really neat area. And look, if you haven't gone to Pittsburgh, and we've talked about this on the show before, if you haven't gone to Pittsburgh and you're a craft beer, devotee, if you will, or you seek them out, go, because there's a lot of good liquid in Pittsburgh. It's a lot, many breweries, and a lot of them are really, really good. You need to get out there.
Yeah, and
Coven, of course, being one of them.
Yeah. Now, we went out. Our first day there was July. Was it the second? I think
second.
It was the second, and we wound up. So the first Tuesday,
July 2nd.
The first Tuesday is.
That's for Harry.
Okay.
It would. I'll tell you this.
The first Tuesday of every month, at the Hofbrau House.
And Jim too.
All the Hofbrau houses.
All the Hofbrau houses.
Is they roll out the barrel, literally roll out the barrel.
Roll out the barrel
of the monthly beer.
Right.
And I've been to it here in New York, and I've got to do it in other places. But the first time we stumbled in upon, well, we weren't stumbling yet. We stumbled out. But we went in, and there was no room in the main room. Yeah. We managed to wiggle our way into the bar and got some seats at the bar, which we had so much fun that day. So if you're ever there on the first Tuesday of the month, make sure you go to Hofbrau House. Make sure you make reservations to get into the main room. You get a free pour off the cask that they tap. They've got a band and everything, and they do the Ziggy Zakis, and everyone has a hoy 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 great time. Mm-hmm. Is
Fox there though?
Fox is not there.
Fox
has passed, by the way.
Is a Fox character there? Is what I really meant to say.
No.
Okay. Fair enough.
No. It's the band starts the Ziggy Zaki.
Gotcha.
The Ziggy Zaki, but they do have the Hofbrau House dude up in the rafters.
Yep.
Like at every Hofbrau House.
Like at everyone. Absolutely. How is that microprocessors treating you there?
Well, we were talking about how it's nice and bitter and that bitter melon, and there's not much more to say about it.
Yeah, you know what? I will tell you this though. If you get it, if you go there or you're near Pittsburgh and you pick it up, I'm not sure what the distribution is like. If he were on the show, obviously we'd ask him, but certainly go, and we encourage you to go to their website and their Facebook and Instagram pages and check them out and follow them and everything else. But in any event, I will tell you this: if you have this beer because it's very good. But if you don't expect to be just drinking a standard cream ale,
Nope.
because if you go in thinking that that's what you're going to taste on the first sip, it's going to take you at least 3, if not 4 or 5 sips
to get used to it.
To get used to the beer. If you go in not knowing what you're going to drink, you'll get used to it straight away, and you'll be able to enjoy that much more of it.
No, I really enjoy this.
And this is all in a good way, too. I'm not saying this in a bad way.
Yeah.
100% a good way.
I'm beginning to think I should have drank the IPA first.
Well, mine's 7%. Yours is 5. We have different IPAs.
Yes, but I'm just talking about the bitterness level.
Right. I don't know. I'm going to say that it's probably going to be close. It's probably a toss-up. Probably a toss-up. Because this is only 4.8%.
4.8, but the IBUs for this, it's got to be as high as you're ever going to see in a cream ale.
Well, I was done, and I forgot there was more in the can I had to pour in there.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, how did you finish yours before mine? That never happens.
Never. On occasion it does, but usually never. So. But, all right. So let me ask you, Trevor, what is your... No, I'm sorry. No.
Oh, where's the sock?
Anyway, we have very slow commenting tonight. I guess everybody's busy for the holidays.
Well, that's not a bad thing.
That's not at all. Not at all.
I'm
busy for the holidays. You're busy for the holidays.
I am.
Next week there will be more decorations. There will be more Giants Christmas villages over here. I'm actually redoing the bar. I'm toying with the idea of, I don't know. I need more room on my bar because this is my bar for our Anna Chaser.
Then drink some shit.
Well, that's besides the point. I'm toying with the idea of not getting rid of, just removing the Dogfish Head neon. But it's become a fixture back there. I really can't. And it doesn't take up that much room, but I actually would have room for probably about 7 or 8 other bottles if I took it off of the bar.
Well, you can move the TV, which is kind of distracting, and hang it there.
Yeah, I mean, I could, but the TV's been a thing since day one, right? It's been on since day one.
Yes, doesn't mean it's a good thing, John.
No, it's always in the background. It's always on. Yeah. I know it's a distraction, but occasionally, there's actually a good game on which I'm not allowed to rebroadcast. But since you can't really see it, it's okay.
But if you put it so that you can see it and we can't.
Yeah, but then my face is just gonna be lighting up with all different.
And you won't pay any attention to the show.
And I'll be like, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
That reminds me, I don't know if the Rangers won last night.
They did not. They lost horribly by a point. They have won.
They're starting to stink it up again.
They have lost 7 out of 9. They've lost 7 out of 9 or 7 out of 8 or.
But they beat the Penguins.
That was the one game they won in this 9-game stretch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, it was the Blackhawks.
It was Blackhawks. It was a bad loss. They shouldn't have lost. It was a bad goal at the end that was tied, and it was not a. It didn't get blown out. It was one of those games that, all right, it's not a good loss. Not that there is a good loss, but you know what I mean. Not there's oh crap, they stunk up the joint. They didn't, but.
Oh well. At any rate.
You're opening your third beer there, I'm assuming.
Objections?
Not at all. Why don't you tell us what it is?
It's an IPA from Coven.
From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania?
Yeah, see, look at that.
Look at that. Looks tasty.
That's a lovely pour right there.
That is a lovely pour. Nice head.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Got me through college. Stole that from Tom. So what this is I have a can here that John gave me. He gave me an option between 2 beers, the one he's drinking tonight and this one. And this is...
I let him pick. I said, you pick which one you want.
Yeah, he was a bench and let me pick. And I saw the word Simcoe. And that was the end of it. This is called Stone and Ash. It's got Mosaic, Simcoe, and Amarillo. So this should be Now, I love Simcoe, but when you put Simcoe and Amarillo together, it's typically a cat piss beer.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, which is not usually my jam. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm not one of those like, oh, this is cat piss. I hate the cat piss beer.
Depending how the cow piss is done, it can be good. You love double. I mean, we all loved Double Simcoe from Weyerbacher, and that was a great cat piss beer.
Especially the cork and cask version.
Absolutely.
Talk about a creamy beer.
Mm-hmm. Brian Bogue just commented. Actually, let me shut this crawl off first. I put his comment up. He just said, better than the Giants that have a record of the most consecutive losses this year and have not won a home game. We are in first place for the draft. Are we? Are we in first place for the draft? We were third place before last weekend. And Dave, once again, tapped his, and he's gone too. Look at that. Let's see if we can get him back in. There he is.
Dunn did it again.
Dunn did it again. Look at that.
Oops, I did it again.
Oops, you did it again. All right there, Brittany.
All I was trying to do was get a picture for the check-in, and I put the can too close to the cord. This time was the cord going into the computer. It was the pooter cord.
There you go. Brian, I wish you were correct. Believe me, I do. But at the moment, we are second for the draft. We are strength of schedule. We are 5 1,000ths of a point ahead, strength of schedule wise, percentage wise, ahead of the Raiders, ahead of Las Vegas. Other than that, yeah, we both have a 2-11 record. Our winning percentages is 0.1554. And our strength of schedule percentages is Vegas is 0.538. Ours is 0.5.
I really wish I was wearing my no one cares shirt.
There you go.
It's like you and Brian, but
5 1,000.
You're delving too deeply into the weeds here.
We need. There we go. He just said you are looking at a different list. We lost. We will lose Sunday to get back to it. There you go. All right. Now that is what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah.
That is the confidence that I need.
There's the optimism that Brian brings. Go.
Yes, I was not looking at next Monday's list. You're right, I was not.
Wow, this is yeah, there is cat piss is not the right word. It didn't go full cat piss on this.
It did not.
Huh? This is like a nice dry. This is not an IPA. This is a pale ale, by the way.
It is a pale ale, yes.
It's a pale ale. And the Amarillo and the Simcoe, what would normally throw off that, what we've been calling cat piss, has really dried this out. It doesn't even really have too much of that sulfuric funk.
Really?
The Mosaic, I think, is really shoring everything up. So it'd be interesting to see what his ratios are between the three hops.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're getting a very, very dry white grapefruit pith. I'm getting a lot of that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, this is nice. This is very well crafted.
All right.
And I've said it many, many times. You can take 3 hops and work them into something genius. Once you get beyond 3, stop. Just don't.
No. Three is the most. 3 is the most.
That's it.
You want to do 3 hops. 4. We've done one beer that had 4 hops, and it was just a special release. And the 4th hop that we added actually
dry hop edition, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, all of them really are, but the 4th hop that we added was just to literally accentuate one of the other main hops. But yeah, 3 is. I mean, if you get to 4, if there's a reason for the 4th, fine. You get to 5, forget about it. You get to 4 without a reason for the 4th. That's silly. You want the hops to speak to you, right? And you could certainly do a lot more different flavored IPAs.
It's
just using 2 or 3. I mean, most of the ones we use 2. There's a handful that we use 3. But I mean, a lot of people will do the same. 3s, probably 2 or 3s where you want to go. Unless you're doing a smash beer. Smash beers are good. I do enjoy smash beer because you're gonna get the specific flavors of the one malt, and you're gonna get the specific flavors of the one hop.
Yep, like that.
All right, and it's fantastic, right? But if you're doing something like that and you want those two to meld and sing to you, I'm all for it. Short of that, 2 hops, 3 hops, that's the range you want to be.
Yep.
4 if there's a reason. You show me a beer that has 17 hops in it, I'm not drinking it.
Nope,
because I'm not getting anything out of it. Every hop is canceling out the other one. It's just going to be a blend of either juice or bitterness.
Yeah, and we've known people who have done it just for shits and giggles to prove to everybody how awful it is.
Right.
I know that Smug Brewing did one, and I think Carton did one.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
The Carton one was a very sarcastic.
Yeah, it was one of those. Yeah, like we're gonna do this for a reason. It's gonna be drinkable, but we're not looking for you to buy it because we put 17 hops in it. We're looking for you to buy it because it's actually decent, but we're saying we're doing it for a reason, right?
Yeah, and what's interesting, you know what I've got sitting right here next to my desk?
That beer?
No.
Oh, Smug. Oh, you know what? I'm so pissed off. You know how many winters I have tried to buy that online and have it shipped? They're gone, and like I think Rob makes like 4 of them a year. He sells 3 in the brewery and puts 1 online for sale. That's it.
I bought this at the brewery.
Oh, I know.
I live 4 blocks from the place.
I know, and I was up there when I was up there in January this year. I was up there for 4 days this year. All 4 days I was up there, he was closed.
That cough.
You love it. All right.
You ever cough so long and so hard that you forgot you had abs and the only reason you remember you have abs is because they hurt so badly from all the coughing?
I had a coughing fit, Jess and I both, probably about 7 years ago. Almost 8 years.
That is so romantic that you had a coughing fit together.
I know we did, and we were in Vermont at the time. All right.
Oh, that's no more romantic place to have a coughing fit.
I'm telling you, we were loving every minute of it. But
yes,
my point being, we had minor colds, right? But we had scratchy throats from it, and the coughing that we did during the cold just like destroyed our throats. So they were so dry that without even being sick, without even having a cold or anything, we coughed for like another 2 weeks just because our throats were scratchy. The only thing that actually calmed our coughing down was literally, and not even kidding, not even lying.
Russ Hut.
Russ Hut. There you go. And beer. No, was taking a jar of honey and pouring some into a spoon and just eating a spoonful of honey and letting it coat the throat. And I'm not talking like once a day. I'm not talking like once an hour.
Every 10 minutes.
I'm talking about every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. And it worked, you know. I gained about 6 pounds, but it was good, you know.
So you took spoonfuls of honey together. That's so sweet.
A spoonful of honey makes the coughing fit go down. I got a million of them. I can do it.
And now we're into Mary Poppins.
There we go. We got another comment from Brian Boke. He said, "That's just a kitchen sink beer. Don't have enough of any to make a beer. Just empty the bags." Brian's 100% right. That's you know, when you get a brewery that's doing a 17 hop beer or whatever. I keep saying that. They're
just getting rid of all the stuff.
Getting rid of it. They don't have enough to make any one beer. They just throw it all. We have another comment from somebody that
we just mentioned.
And that would be Mr. Carton. Augie, hello.
How are we doing, sir?
How
Cheers.
are you, sir? Cheers.
Cheers.
Augie, what was and that's the second time I said his name. So
well, he's already here. So.
Well, he's actually on the show. Right?
So have at it.
What was the
excessively multi-hop beer that you'd made?
What was it?
It was not called cooking dinner.
It was not called cooking dinner. Yes,
that is what he's doing at the moment.
He's cooking dinner at the moment.
But there's one where
I can't think of the name. It's like right at the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of it. What was the excessively hopped beer? Multiple You know, any hops?
Yeah, it was like 8 or 9 hops variants in it. I forget. What.
It is not boat, Augie.
Yeah, it is not.
It is not. What are we sipping on?
Boat. I may have had a few boats.
I think you did have a number of them.
I've had quite a few.
Quite a few.
Well, we're supposed to have Coven Brewing on the show, but we had a last-second cancellation, so we are drinking Coven beers, and I'm drinking Coven's Stone and Ash.
Mm-hmm.
And the judge and John, what are the hops in that one?
The hops in I have loading art. I actually didn't put it up yet, but loading art is what I'm drinking, and it's Eldorado, Idaho 7, and Citra.
And how's that treating you?
It's treating me good, actually. It's I'm getting the citrus. I don't. I like Idaho 7. I don't love Idaho 7. I can take Idaho 7.
You like Idaho 7 more than me. That's another reason I took this one.
Right. Matt can't stand Idaho 7. So we'll never brew a beer with Idaho 7.
Yeah.
What should we call it? Oh, you just said Boat has 8, Dub has 7. And then he says, don't really go past Boat.
Okay. And then he's got to go. He carved
the beef. I'll come back past dinner. You got it, Augie. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers. Thanks.
I miss hanging out with that guy. My liver doesn't, but I do.
Well, he was tending to family when you and I were there a week and a half ago.
So one of the boys sick?
No. Family in for the
just having having people over. When you say tended to, it sounds like someone was sick. Mm-hmm. It's just the way you phrased it.
No, he was entertaining family.
There you go. That makes more sense to me.
But going back to Brian's comment, 100% that's a kitchen sink beer. That's normally what it is. When you get a brewery that puts out an IPA that has, and I keep using the number 17. I'm just using that, obviously.
We're just joking.
I'm just joking.
No, I don't think anyone's ever done a 17.
10 or 12 or 14 different hops. It's because they have enough all together to make one batch of beer. They don't have enough of any one of those hops or any 3 of those hops or whatever you want to call it to make one batch of beer. So they use them all and they come out with it's hey, let's brew a batch of beer. We got these. Why spend more money on more hops? Let's brew this batch with this and see how it comes out.
There you go.
So, but hey, you know what? Once in a blue moon, and I don't mean any. That's not. No pun intended.
That's a great Belgian beer.
Oh no, it's not. From what I hear, it was decent before
Coors took it over.
Yeah, I never had any before Coors took it over.
I actually did, and it really was not that bad of a beer.
Yeah,
it really was. And then Coors took it over and turned it into just a glass of ass.
Pretty much. Well, that's why you got to put an orange in it, right?
Yep.
You got to give it some flavor, right?
No. You need to mask the flavor it has.
Well, yeah. No,
it has flavor. It's just not good flavor.
Well, see, you're screwing up my joke, and I know you're right, but you're screwing up my joke. I always say, Blue Moon, you got to put a piece of orange in it to enhance the flavor. Corona, you got to put a piece of lime in it to mask the flavor. Yeah, and keep the flies out of the bottle. That's it.
Corona has flavor.
Well, I didn't say it was good. Anyway, Brian just commented too. He said, "Next beer, Rum Dawn Barrel Aged Sour Pink Guava from Urban Family Brewing in Seattle, Washington."
Someone got a Tavour.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is a Tavour beer, correct, Brian? And he has. And one of these days, Brian's happy right now. Okay. One of these days, Brian's going to be very angry at you and I.
Oh, yes. When he realizes
setting him down
how much
the Tavour rabbit
hole. We're getting close to me being able to go back onto Tavour, but just not yet.
Yeah, I haven't bought anything. Last crate I got was the end of September. I haven't bought anything since. And I've been trying to stay off of Tavour because I know damn well as soon as I see things, I'm going to want it. But the thing that I've done is like, I said to myself, okay, when there's a beer that I just have to get, I will order it, but I will let that crate go for like 3 months, right? And I'll get it in March or whatever, right?
Through this.
Yeah. But which he just Brian just said, just maybe. He said, there you go.
I've been to Urban Family Brewing. I'm trying to remember it. I've got my check-in. I've got a picture of the glass of everything, and I just don't quite
you and I have both had Urban Family Brewing beers on the show, but I've got mine. I don't know if you
that's the only
back with you. I've only got mine at Savor. So
that's the only check-in I've had from them, was being there at the brewery.
I got you. I definitely have a couple. I have a couple of Urban Families over here waiting. One of them.
I'm surrounded by Urban Families.
Well, that too. This is true. I got.
Yeah, living in your Union City, that's definitely urban.
This is one that Treehouse in the City. It's from Urban Family. It is
It's interesting. Look at what my one check-in is.
There's a Treehouse in the City. There you go.
That's my one check-in.
It's a barley wine aged in ex-Madeira, rum, Scotch, and whiskey barrels from Copperworks Distilling. So, Cooperworks. There you go. But yeah, at some point, I mean, these are sitting over here, but they're like 19% barley wine, so I can sit them over here. And it's cold.
Oh, I remember why I don't remember being at Urban Family Brewing Company.
Because you had this. That's why.
No, I was drunk off my fucking ass.
And then you had hold on. What is the ABV on this? Curious. I forgot. Oh, it's 13.5. So you were drunk off your ass, and then you had a 13.5% barley wine.
Oh yeah. We had started the day off down by the docks.
We started the day off down by the docks.
Yeah, in a van down by the river. I can't remember what was the name of the brewery that was down there. We Ubered down there to get to this brewery. It's just one of their many locations there, and we walked our way back and drank our way back.
Drank your way back. While you think of it, Brian put up another comment. I have another case coming in around 12:15. Now I am just looking for Belgian beers. That's not a bad thing, Brian.
Not a bad way to go.
Extremely rare on the site, so it should take a while to get to 24 beers. He's smart, though. He waits till he gets to 24 beers to maximize his shipping.
Yep. It's so this was in Ballard. We started off with a brewery that was as far west in Ballard as we can go. Drank our way back, and by the time we got to Urban Family, we got something to eat there. They had a food truck.
Yep.
And then we wandered around the corner, and we hit two more breweries after that. I don't remember being at either one of them. I do remember being in Urban Family now, but I don't remember being at either of the other two.
Gotta love it. How's that IPA going for you?
I've talked about it already. We've already stopped asking
at
something.
At the moment, still,
it hasn't changed. What I like about it is it starts off wet, and John knows what I'm talking about. It's a weird thing to say about a liquid, but it does start off wet. But then the hops really dry it out at the end.
Fair enough.
So yeah, this is well crafted. I like the label.
You got to get a nice amount, just the right amount of residual bitterness in there to dry it out at the end.
So it's Trevor knows what he's doing.
There you go. Augie just commented, Idaho 7, when it's amazing, does orange candy better than most. He's right. It absolutely does. But when it hit the crop yield, I think it found its supply demand.
Okay, translation.
Sometimes they stress it to grow too much of it and maximize the.
And so that it becomes awful.
It's not as good as if it's grown right and it's not stressed, it's a good. It definitely gives you a nice orange candy.
When you're forcing yield, you lose quality.
100%.
And 100%. I think that's the translation right there.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. But cheers to that, and you're 100% right. Not that you wouldn't be. Of course, we know that you're right.
He might know a thing or two.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget, and Augie, you missed last week's show when Don Tess was on, and we were talking about the O Double Lotta that we made at that we made at Barnacle Bill's. Half pina colada, half OW.
I need to get down for burgers again.
Oh, those burgers are so good.
So good.
Yeah, we had clams. We had clams before that.
I'm hungry.
We have boats and O-dubs, and of course the O-double-ada. Well, actually, I think just me, Don, Augie, and John Hall had the O-double-ada. I don't think anybody else tasted it. Nobody else wanted to taste it.
Oh, there's more than just the four of you.
Oh no, yeah, there was a couple of guys from BSG Maltsters and that company, and his neighbor and his wife were there too. Lauren was there.
Cool. Lauren was there, and I'm sure John Hall didn't want to drink the O-double-ada.
Oh no, he was forced into drinking it.
And I know who forced him into.
Well, no, the pina colada was ordered for John Hall. Like Augie ordered the pina colada for John.
Wait a second. Did he call it a pina colada or did he call it a pina-lada?
No, it's pina colada.
Okay, because I've been places where Augie was so drunk he couldn't pronounce the whole.
Oh, no. This was during the day. I mean, this was like dinner time at best. He was fine.
This was, Augie was trying to get us all girly drunk.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he was definitely doing his best to try and get you guys all girly drink.
And he was already girly drunk, by the way.
But in any event, then once John had taken 2 or 3 sips of it, we passed it down, and then Augie and Don had concocted the idea for the O-double-ada. Well, actually, Augie concocted the idea, and Don just helped him facilitate it. That was all.
That sounds horrific. Well, because Don's the one.
I got to be honest with you. Look, I thought it was disgusting when I was watching him pour it. I took a sip of it. It was not bad at all. And that's how weird that was.
We've got photographic evidence that Don Tess is the one who actually made
yeah,
the mixture.
And Augie, Don actually does not remember doing it, but I showed him the picture, and he's
those are my hands.
Those are my hands. I'm like,
at any rate,
there you go. That was pretty great. Gotta love it. But anyway, this is fantastic. This loading art, I'm really digging this. This is a really good beer. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, cheers to Trevor. How often have you seen me take down 2 really, really hoppy beers as quickly as I took these 2 down?
Usually, well, here's the thing. Let's go back. That's besides the point. No, seriously, on the show, right? Let's go back to the beginning, right? Because this is the Lager Room guys, but in the beginning, you and I were drinking more IPAs or more ales, if you will.
Well, here's the thing. You got to remember, when we started was during COVID. Everyone was pumping out IPAs.
Nobody was making lagers like they're making today.
Everything was IPAs because they knew they could sell them, and everybody was buying anything they could get their hands on at the time.
Absolutely.
So, because the demand was so high, the only way to meet the demand was to brew IPAs.
Sure.
So
you're not going to sit up here for 8 weeks when your demand is like,
Yeah, your demand's through the roof. You were not tying your tanks up with a lager.
No.
So it was IPAs all day during that, and being 4 blocks from Smug was not a bad thing during that time because they do they do some damn good IPAs.
I gotta take a ride up there just like one night for a weekend, and I gotta get the what is it, the Cabin Fever?
Is it out again?
It's got to be. I mean, he makes it every year, right?
You don't know with Rob.
Well, I couldn't. Let's put it this way: he doesn't distro it. I know that, and I couldn't get it when I was up there in January because he wasn't open. So, I literally went to everywhere he distros to, and they said, "Yeah, we don't get that beer." I'm like,
Yeah, he doesn't make a lot of it because there's so much maple syrup in that.
Well, that's my point. I will go up if I'm up there and he has it. I'm buying a damn case of the damn beer. I'll split it with you. Well, actually, you can have 2 4-packs, and I'll have the other 4.
Yeah, that's fair, actually. The only problem with Cabin Fever is it degrades not very quickly.
No, I'm sure you can get through the rest of the winter with it. It's not like I'm going to sit on it for a year by any means. No, maple syrup fades pretty quickly.
You with 3 months. 3 months, probably, because it was. I think when I gave you your first can of it, it was. I think it was a month old at that point.
Okay. All right. Well, I had it like
immediately.
Yeah, like a week later, not even.
Yeah. So,
But
that is probably one of the best maple beers ever produced.
it's fantastic. Well, and I misspoke myself too. Like, I mean, if you have a maple barrel aged, if you will, a second use bourbon barrel that was aged maple syrup, so forth and so on, and you have
That's different.
that's different, right? If you're adding maple syrup to a
As the
widow
adjunct.
warmer, that's as the adjunct in a 6.5% beer, that's what's going to fade quick, right? If you have maple in a 15% beer, that's a high-end barley wine or old ale or something like that, yeah, that's going to last a lot longer. It's not going to last for years. Like, don't expect to sit on that for 10 years and taste any maple.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna get your tobacco and your leather and all the other good feels, but you're not going to get the maple's going to be long gone by then. But you'll get it a couple of years in. You'll still get some maple in those bigger beers, but you're not going to get it in a 6.5% winter warmer.
Cabin Fever is a 7%.
7%, yeah, there you go.
So, like I said, probably 3 months.
3. Yeah, I mean, it depends on how it was canned, when it was canned, and how you kept it,
and how you store it. Yes,
right.
But I would drink it within 3 months.
I would drink it in 3 days. I mean, come on.
There's that.
Yeah. If I go up there, look, I'm not buying a case of it, but if I go up there and I get a couple of 4-packs, they're gone well before 3 months gets around.
Okay, let me dip into the old beer fridge here. Trying to figure out what the hell to follow these beers with.
I know what I'm having. I'm having another lager, and
You're gonna go with another lager?
I'm gonna go
after an IPA.
No, I'm having another lager. I'm going back to a 5.7% lager. It's another Schwartz beer. I'll give you 3 guesses which one it is.
It might be something to do with jellyfish.
Plankton, actually, not jellyfish.
Oh, plankton. That's right. It's plankton. And so, it's Chum Bucket.
6 of 1. Yeah, 6 of 1.
Well, that's what plankton owns, the Chum Bucket.
Oh no, I know.
I'm really going in a completely different direction.
I prefer the Krusty Krab, to be honest with you, but that's what he says.
Have you had the Krabby Patty from Wendy's yet?
Wendy's makes a Krabby Patty?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that?
I did not know that.
They did a thing with SpongeBob SquarePants. Let's see. Let's grab this glass here. And they're doing the Krabby Patty thing, and it's a complete straight up gimmicky stuff, but people are eating it up, literally.
Literally, yeah, exactly. So, what is the beer you chose?
I don't know if that I chose it or it chose me. But put it this way, it's
very deep.
It is pouring pretty damn dark.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I literally could have just opened this Urban Family Treehouse in the city because it is cold. It is like it's probably the optimal temperature for this beer. But there's no way I'm drinking 12 ounces of a 13.5% barrel-aged English barley wine right now. So.
Well, this one, what does this one come in? I should have saved this for the last show. This is 12%.
You have others. You're good.
Yeah, this is from Short Throw Brewing in Timber Ales.
Short Throw works. And it's a collab with Timber Ales.
Yeah. This is an Imperial Stout aged on coffee, vanilla, and marshmallow.
Marshmallow, or so no lactose, it's just actual marshmallow.
It says marshmallow, yeah. This is called Borrowed Brilliance.
Oh, interesting.
I have no idea where I got this.
I was literally just going to ask you, where the hell did you get that?
I don't know if this was something that I got from Tavor
it had to be Tavor. I'm going to tell you why, because there's Short Throw does, I believe Tavor does have Short Throw beers, absolutely. But I mean, you could have very easily gotten it in Boonton too. So
no, because it's just a single, and I think it came from Tavor, and I think it was something that just got like put in with like the stuff that's sitting to the side, waiting to get into the fridge,
right?
And just kept getting shuffled to the back or something.
Fair enough.
And finally made it in.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, what is this? Why haven't I drank this yet? Wow!
How's it smell? Let me hold it up to the camera. Let me smell it.
Can you here. Listen, can you smell that?
Listen, you smell something? Anybody tell us where that is from? Listen. Do you smell something?
We talked about this last week. So
we did.
If you watched last week, you're already cheating.
Comment in if you know. And Doug Smith commenting in is not fair because he'll remember what we're talking about. Yes. He actually brought it up too. And he just commented and he said 12%, 13%, child's play. 'Tis the season. Drink up, boys. 100%, Doug. 100%.
Doug he's a bad influence. That
he's
child
great.
Is a bad influence.
He's great.
Child, he might be older than us. We have no idea. Do we?
We're all within the same few year range.
We're the same generation. We know for certain he's Gen X. Mm-hmm. But this is lovely.
This is lovely.
No, lovely.
Lovely.
No
V. It's an F. Lovely.
This is lovely.
This is lovely. All right, I'm gonna have mine. I am actually drinking. It's a beer by this brewery in Monmouth County.
You can't get this on tap anywhere anymore.
You can't get this on tap.
Oh,
no, you can. No, it's on tap in certain places. It's just yeah.
There's no tap. It is. Is it at the Rail?
Well, it's at the Rail.
It's at the Rail.
On tap, and both of us just had it on tap at the Cloverleaf in Caldwell on Saturday. So
no, I didn't. You and Donovan did.
You did not have a pour of it?
No.
You suck.
I did not.
I mean, I don't really care.
I still got a can in the fridge.
There you go.
I bought a 4-pack of it.
Vertical migration. You bought a 4-pack?
No, you gave me a 4-pack.
I gave you a 4-pack. What are you talking about? You bought a 4-pack of it?
No, I didn't buy a 4-pack. I bought so much of your beer. You can't complain yet.
I don't think I was.
You told me I sucked. I think that's a complaint. Sounds like a complaint.
Well, and then I said I didn't care. It's like I followed it up. Right. But
it's funny because in the smell of this beer, the coffee and vanilla are really nice. When you taste it, it's mostly marshmallow.
Really?
I want more coffee. I want a little more balance out of this one. This gets a really high rating on Untapped, and I know it's Timber Ales. Timber Ales is one of those. They're kind of like the that new kid in town, that Eagles song, where everyone loves them because they're and they don't get me wrong, they do some great stuff, but they're on that wave right now of being, everyone likes them, so I must like them, so this beer must be good kind of thing, right? So I think this beer is a little overrated because I don't think in the flavor it's as balanced as it should be. And I think if we talk to the brewery, they'd probably the marshmallow took over a little bit. And it's funny because you get here's a lesson here. If you are reviewing somewhere or you're talking to a brewer or brewery owner, you're talking about their beer, be dead honest. Don't be a kiss ass.
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely.
Because I guarantee you, if I was there talking to the brewer at Timber Ales and it's not as balanced as I would like to be, they would probably, like I said, they would probably say, marshmallow took over a little bit more than we wanted it to. We this is what we wanted from it, but this is what happened. And the brewers appreciate that feedback. Don't be afraid just because they're, just because you're talking to someone from Treehouse or one of the Dogfish Head or any of the big names. Don't be afraid to say, hey, this is what I got out of it. They all want that feedback, and they don't want to kiss ass feedback.
No, they don't.
They're tired of it. They're tired of the fanboyism. They want to hear true, honest opinions of what you're drinking. So don't be afraid to do that.
Definitely don't be afraid to do that. That's 100%.
And honestly, frankly, you do it enough with somebody, they'll come to the point that they'll start to respect your opinion. If you're at a brewery enough and say this enough and give them those honest opinions, they'll start to look for your opinion because they know that a lot of their other customers are just fanboys.
Right.
So We'll see. I want this to warm up a little bit before I make a final judgment on it. Coffee can disappear behind things when it's a little too cold.
It can.
So maybe when it warms up, maybe
depending on what it's behind too.
Marshmallow though. Marshmallow.
Oh well, no, marshmallow's taking that over when it's cold. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So let me let this warm up a little bit before I render final judgment on this. So I'll drink this slowly through the rest of the show.
Here you go. All right. What do you say we do our top three?
Well, yeah, because I was talking about being hungry, and this is just going to make me even more fucking.
And I'm starving too, and it's 8:45 So yeah. All right. So tonight, speaking of being hungry, and with the direct correlation between Coven Brewing and what Trevor did on 4th of July,
with the hot dogs,
and all, our top three list tonight is top 3 favorite food. Hold on, I got to fix that. Hold on. We have the technology. Top 3 favorite foods served at a brewery.
Food itself is plural. You don't need to pluralize.
Top 3 favorite foods served at a brewery. It doesn't sound right. You got to
okay.
Top 3 favorite foods served at a brewery, because it's not the favorite, right? It's the top 3 that you're referring to. So it's the foods, right? So top 3 favorite foods served at a brewery. David, please take it away. And by the way, Brian, Augie, Doug, anybody else
would chime in? Please chime in.
Please chime in.
Because otherwise, I'll give all 14 of my honorable mentions.
Now, do your top do your top honorable mention and your top 3. Okay, I'll do mine, and then you can talk. We'll talk about your others.
So
give me your top honorable. Give me your top honorable mention.
The top honorable mention is because the guests are supposed to be on the show is from Pittsburgh.
Fair enough.
So my top honorable mention is Strange Roots and the Pittsburgh Sandwich Company, I think it's called.
Okay.
The sandwiches there that you can get. Oh my God, they're so good. I think I got the basically what amounted to a loose meat sandwich. It's ground beef and cheese, so it's not really a cheesesteak. But they got so many different varieties of sandwiches there. They're all damn good. So that's my honorable mention is the sandwiches at Strange Roots from, I think it's Pittsburgh Sandwich Company it's called, or something along those lines.
No particular sandwich. What am I?
Sandwich.
No particular sandwich, just the sandwiches from Pittsburgh Sandwich Company at Strange Roots.
At Strange Roots. Okay. Not Strong Roots. Strange Roots. So my number 3. What is my number 3? Oh, so my number 3, again, this is not any specific dish. This is just everything that they serve there. In the middle of Idaho is a town called Driggs. Driggs, Idaho is this little bastion of liberalism amongst all the potato fields. And there's a brewery there called Citizen 33. And I was out there with my son, my younger son, because for his graduation, he wanted to go to Yellowstone. So we went to Yellowstone. We also went to Grand Tetons.
You did.
And on our way to Grand Tetons, we drove through Driggs. Mm-hmm. We got coffee in Driggs. On our way back, we stopped for dinner at Citizen 33. Mm-hmm. And my son knows that when he travels with me, that we're going to hit at least 1 or 2 breweries.
Yep.
But to make sure that it's not just like this beer adventure, I make sure that we go to breweries that serve food. Right. So we went there. We got the food. Now, Citizen 33, the head brewer is from Abita. You start off in Abita of all places. The beer is fantastic, but the food is so good that when we went to Grand Teton the next day, drove through Driggs again, on the way back, my son goes, "We're stopping at Citizen 33 for dinner again, right?" So when someone who doesn't drink beer wants to return to a brewery for the food, you know it's good.
So any particular food item, just the food in general at Citizen?
He had the loaded mac and cheese. And me. I had a barbecue. He had the barbecued ribs. What the hell did I have? I don't remember what I had, but it was just fantastic. The food there is fantastic. Fantastic. The chef there is amazing. The beer is amazing. So if you just ever happen to find,
you know what? I'm just putting any of the food at right?
any food at if you just happen to find yourself in Driggs, Idaho, which is probably not going to happen.
If you happen to find yourself in Driggs, Idaho,
yeah.
Please, if you hold on, let me rephrase this. If you happen to find yourself in Driggs, Idaho, please write in and let us know that you actually did find yourself in Driggs, Idaho.
But Citizen 33, definitely stop in there. Definitely make a stop at Grand Teton Brewing as well, because that's a got a shirt there because that's one of the kind of an old school brewery. They've been around a very long time.
All right, that was your number 3. What's your number 2?
My number two, I had texted John earlier that I was taking this so that he knew not to take it, because him and I both love this place.
Of course.
Human Robot in Philadelphia makes amazing beers, lagers, pilsners, everything. Their slow pours are amazing. They do great IPAs. But in it is Poe's Sandwich Shop. There is nothing there that you're going to not be happy with.
Yeah, but I need an actual item.
No, you don't.
I do. Now I'm going to tell you why. Because I have one of my honorable mentions is a specific sandwich at Poe's. So
I have had at least 5.
Every single one of my top 3 and my 2 honorable mentions are specific food items. So.
Well, that's your problem, not mine. Every sandwich that I've ever had at Poe's is absolutely fantastic.
There you go. Every sandwich that you've ever had
is absolutely fantastic. And you know
that's all you had to say. That's all you had to say.
You know they make great food there because they're all stoned out of their minds every second of the day.
Don't forget the fries that they do there too.
I don't think I've ever had their fries.
Oh my God! You haven't had their fries?
Well, because the sandwiches are they're almost as long as my damn mind.
I don't know about that, but you still need to get the fries. Split them. That's what Jess and I did. So,
at any rate, my number one. My number one. There's no question, no thought behind it. Absolutely. We had lunch at the Browstable at Vian Stefan. There's the finger.
I'm shocked you didn't go with Schneider rice, but
with what?
Schneider rice.
Oh, the food there's good, but compared to Vian Stefan's Browstable. No. So I ordered the pig hock.
Pig hock.
Yeah, that there's a German word for it, and I can't remember that right now. And they served that with the potato dumplings. And when you say potato dumpling, it sounds like it's just this really heavy gut bomb. They're not. They're nice and light. And there's the gravy they put over it. Their red cabbage there is so good. Everything that they make there is good. And the best part is, you get to wash it down with Vian Stefan beer right off the goddamn tap. And the brewery's right there. So you know this stuff is fresh. So
and Coastal Brewers beer has actually made an appearance in Vian Stefan Brewing.
The beer has it. The can
has.
So yeah, there is no doubt in my mind that had to be number one. It just oh shit, I forgot one. Holy crap!
Do it in your mentions.
I forgot about Bomberg.
Do it in your honorable mentions.
Ike Schlenkerla.
Do it in your honorable mentions.
I just did.
Well, you didn't say what it was and describe it or whatever. Just do it in your honorable mentions.
What was that beer cheese that they make there?
All right, make it an honorable mention. I'll put it in your honorable mentions, and then we can go for the others.
There we go.
Beer cheese at.
And there's a name to that beer cheese.
Beer cheese at Schlenkerla.
So.
Schlenkerla. There you go. Here we go. All right, cool. Mine. Here we go. All right, ready?
Obatsta.
Obatsta. All right.
Obatsta. Obatzda.
Obatzda. Obatsta. Yeah. There you go. All right. So here's the thing. I have 3 honorable mentions, but I'm only going to give my top one. All right, and then I'll mention the other 2 after.
You paused for effect there.
I did.
Yeah.
There you go. And Brian Book has given us his, or at least one. And we're going to talk about that too, because Brian's actually is one of my honorable mentions. Right?
Oh,
So
Brian's what?
Brian's comment as to his.
One of his comments is.
One of his comments, right? So
I thought it was something that he had made at his.
No, not at a tailgate. No.
Okay, yeah.
So my top my one honorable mention that I mentioned, and then my top 3 as follows. Here we go. My top honorable mention I'm going to mention is the top honorable mention I mentioned. Okay, you like how I did that?
Yeah, you're still in the mode.
The huge German pretzel. And I could find a picture of it too.
It's huge. It's huge. So big. Everyone agrees it's the best
huge. It's huge. It's huge. The huge German pretzel at Trogs Brewing out in Hershey.
And not to mention, and the thing is, it may have been one of my 14 honorable mentions only because of the mustards.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Those mustards.
As good as the pretzel was.
As a spent grain pretzel.
Those mustards are amazing. And we'll get to other spent grain pretzels as well when we do that. I'm actually trying to. Here we go. I needed to find it. There we go.
Wouldn't be a show without.
It wouldn't be a show without. There you go. Look at that. Look at that friggin' thing.
But there's the mustards aren't there. They're off.
No. That's what they said. No, they're off to the side. That's what they served it with, and I got all the others. Yeah. So.
That's the beer cheese and the there's a kind of dip thingy.
There you go. We'll talk more about spent grain pretzels shortly, but that one right there, ridiculous. Okay. My number 3 is the German sausage platter, which consisted of Bratz, shocker, I know, and Weisswurst at Surly Brewing in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, now that's a place I've not been.
Right. I could actually. I mean, I have.
Here comes.
I have pictures of all of these, so I mean, I could just go all day. I mean, I don't take pictures of my food. I mean,
John's top 3s would probably only last about 5 minutes if it were for the search for the pictures.
It wasn't for pictures, yeah, exactly. So.
I could probably go take a leak while he's looking for these pictures.
No.
But then who's going to fill the airspace while he's concentrating on finding a picture?
Well, I'm only going to show you this picture only because it really needs to be shown, but that's besides the point.
Okay.
There we go.
Those are 2 sausages, yes.
Yeah, they were really good.
It's a really cool plate, too.
It is pretty cool. So
nice slate plate.
German sausage platter, Bratz and Weisswurst at Surly Brewing in Minneapolis, Minnesota. My number 2, and I don't have a picture of this that I know of, but I'm not going to look anyway, so it doesn't matter. Is I probably do, but I won't look. Is the brisket, and I've talked about it on the show before, from Blowfish Barbecue, and this is a Pittsburgh show. Blowfish Barbecue at Old Thunder Brewing. Blowfish Barbecue was a pop-up outside, a food truck, if you will, but they had a smoker. Amazing brisket at Old Thunder Brewing in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
And I gotta apologize, Rick. I really do need to empty this.
All right.
But I will ask you about your first when I get back.
Ask me about your first when you get back. So I'll just ramp up and just talk about nonsense or whatever. Going back, I'll mention this. And we'll talk more about this with Dave when he gets back. But when I mentioned the German pretzel before, the spent grain pretzel at Trogs Brewing, it's amazing. If you've been, Trogs Brewing is in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Okay, it's literally right next to Hershey Park. So if you've gone anywhere near Hershey, or if you're going anywhere near Hershey, definitely stop at Trogs Brewing. They make really good beer. I mean, Trogs Brewing's been around a long time, and they're widely distributed. But they actually do really, really well beer, really good beer. And a lot of the beers are, depending on the list that we do, some of the beers would be on my list. And I do have, they do some amazing barrel-aged beers too. You want to go there, but the food at the brewery is the point of this conversation, right? And it's really good. You're going to want to get to you want to get to the brewery, and you're going to want to have. They have other things other than the German pretzel, right? I mean, they have other food there as well. You sit at the bar. They have tables there as well, and you're going to want to have any of that. But the point of this is the German pretzel is amazing, literally amazing.
Which was this one?
I went back and I talked about the tropes to pretzel. So,
and the number two is
number 3 was the German sausage platter, the Brats and the Weisswurst at Surly Brewing in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah. The brisket from Blowfish Barbecue at Old Thunder Brewing in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. My number 1.
Wait a second, before you move on, Blowfish, I tried to find them while I was there.
You did.
Even with Old Thunder, a day late. Mm-hmm. Because they never listed.
They were there the day before.
They didn't list the pop-ups.
They do. Old Thunder doesn't. You gotta go on old. You got to go on Blowfish Barbecue. And
I did, and they didn't list it either.
They didn't list it either.
Yeah. So
anyway. and it's Blowfish Barbecue, and the name of the owner, and he's an amazing pitmaster, Hootie. Shocker, right? And we've mentioned him on the show. Actually, we tweeted at him, and we've posted some stuff on Instagram. Follow them. If you're anywhere near Pittsburgh, if you're going out there, if you're going by Trevor at Coven, if you're going out to Old Thunder, you're going to any of the amazing breweries out in Pittsburgh, definitely see if Blowfish Barbecue is anywhere out there and they're making some brisket or whatever else they're making. Go by there and have some stuff. It's amazing. And the brisket literally is not the best, some of the best brisket I've ever had. It's really, really good. Anyway, my number 1 is as insignificant of a type of sandwich as this is, Dave will agree with me that this is probably the best one of these I've ever had. And I've made a number myself, and I've eaten plenty of these over the years. But the BLT at Mast Landing Brewery in Westport, Maine, west of Maine, is one of the best, if not the best BLT I've ever had in my life.
When we came up with this,
so pardon my French, so fucking good. It's ridiculous.
When we came up with this top 3, I said to John, like, take the BLT from Mast Landing. Because John was raving about it. We were there for Carrie's birthday the day before. We left the day after. Right. We went to Mast Landing and got the actually the day after John left and went there. We went 2 days later, I believe. You
were there, and we were there the same amount of time, but I was there 2 days before you were there, 2 days after. We had 1.5 days
in between
together.
But at any rate,
throughout the night before and the morning of, and that was it.
Well, you gotta have the BLT.
Well, Carrie's birthday, we started at 11 a.m. at Allagash.
Yeah. But so we're both like, okay, John said you gotta get the BLT. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Take a grain of salt. He's raving about fucking BLT. It's just a goddamn BLT. And then we got the BLT and went, it's not just a goddamn BLT. It's a damn good BLT.
This is insane. I'm literally telling you, it's the best BLT I've literally. Now I won't. Memory-wise, it's the best BLT I've ever had, ever. But I will calm down from that, and I will say it is one of the best BLTs I've ever had. The flavor behind it, the bread, the mayo, the lettuce, the tomato.
The tomatoes were good and fresh.
The tomatoes were amazing. And I got to be honest.
When the mutton is nice and lean and crisp.
Oh, MLT. Oh, my God. It's so good.
So let's throw Brian's up, and we'll get into some of our honorable mentions because there's so much about this to talk about.
So I'll do mine. You do yours afterwards. Let's throw Brian's up there first. Excuse me.
No, you going to throw up?
No.
I thought you said you were going to throw up. Oh.
No, throw them up. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, then you were.
I know. That was a burp anyway.
Let those out. Be proud of your belches.
Exactly. Brian said bratwurst, cheese, crackers, and meats, a nice thick 10-ounce burger with a smoked thick cut bacon and cheese, particularly Brewery, the smoked wings at Defiant Brewery.
Okay, so the thing about Defiant, John's heard me say this, and John gets a little annoyed because he used to work for Defiant. Is that the barbecue there was so damn good. I wished it was a BYOB.
See, that's a misnomer too, and I'm going to tell you why. And I'll defend this right now. For them. All right. The beer, that you've gotten out. Nothing was ever bad, right? But the beer that he's gotten out might have not been what he was looking for. I've in the past, Dave,
you've given me one beer from them,
and I actually poured a beer for him, and he's like, "Holy shit, this is fan-friggin-tastic."
No, I never said that. I said this was good.
All right, well, no, but look, anybody that knows you knows damn well when you say this is good, it's fan-friggin-tastic for anyone.
No. Maybe, but when I was there,
I was
eating barbecue, the beers that we're drinking, and maybe. Because remember, this is a very, very long time ago. Maybe had time to dial some beers in, but we were.
It depends on who was brewing. But
we were not enjoying the beers, and we were really wishing it was a BYOB. But Brian's absolutely correct. The barbecue there that came out of the back, that came out on those half trays, that was fan-fucking-tastic. Oh my god! And those smoked wings. Yeah, 100%, Brian.
And I will tell you right now, I had 3 honorable mentions. Dave has 19, but
no, I have 13 more.
There you go. I had 3 honorable mentions. I said one, the German pretzel at Trogs Brewing. One of my, and I'll finish mine now so we can get over with it. Another one was, I'm just going to go away from Defiant for a second. Pose was one of Dave's. And it was your second, number two. You're number 2.
Yeah, my number 2.
The Gabagool. Okay.
The Gabagool.
The Gabagool at Pose at Human Robot. I get it every time I go. And Jess will even say, "You get it every time. Why don't you get something else?" I'm like, how often do we come here?
I mix it up.
I want this sandwich. Well, you know what? She switches it up. So I just take a bite or two of hers and I'm good. I switch it up, right? The Gabagool, it's amazing capicola. And the chicken, it doesn't matter what sandwich you're getting it on. The chicken is amazing. But with the cutlets.
The cutlets.
The cutlets. The cutlets. But the fries, you got to get the fries. But the Gabagool at Pose, Human Robot in Philly, in West Kensington on North 5th, you got to go. But my other honorable mention is all of the barbecue at Defiant Brewing, and it was and it will be.
Even the pickles.
The pickles are amazing. Neil makes his own barbecue sauce. Okay,
it's so good.
All of the barbecue sauce you're going to have when you go to Defiant is
made in house.
They make there. They don't buy it and put it in the things. They make it there. The wings. I worked for Neil for years. I have no idea what he puts in his rub. It's so proprietary. He won't even tell anybody.
I get that.
All right. And the wings are amazing. And the one thing that was always like crack to me, okay, amazing, was they do tacos there. And they do a brisket taco, which is amazing. Their brisket, that's the other thing. Love their brisket.
You say amazing again.
Amazing.
There you go.
All right. Brisket taco. The brisket is amazing. The ribs are delicious.
Are they amazing?
They're amazing. Right. Amazing. Anyway, but my point is, one of the tacos they do house cooked, house smoked bacon, and they do a mac and cheese and bacon taco.
Oh, Jesus!
And I'm like, it's like crack. It's like Lay's potato chips. You eat 2 of these. I mean, you'll gain 30 pounds while you're in there eating these, right? But they're so ridiculously good. It's totally worth it. So anyway, so that's mine, and that's what Brian was saying. Brian, the smoked wings at Defiant Brewing. That's exactly what I was talking about. The smoked with the rub that proprietary rub that Neil has, amazing. So there you go. That's all of mine. Brian. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate your comment. Appreciate it. Doug, if you have any, write him in. Anybody else?
Yeah, because Doug's been around.
Doug's been a little around. He's been around.
He's seen at a few breweries.
So Dave, have at your other 13, or just kind of abridge some of them.
I will bridge it a little bit, because as people who follow the show know, I've been around. I travel. When I travel, I visit breweries, and I like to eat at the breweries. So I'm going to break this down a little bit. So we're talking about wings. There's a brewery kind of chain in Maine called Blaze.
He's not even looking at me. I was going.
I'm looking at you. I'm ignoring you. I thought you're just airing out your pits because you're sweating.
That's what it was. Right?
That's what it was. But there's a brewery called Blaze. Blaze, and they're up in Maine. Blaze. B-L-A-Z.
Oh, Blaze. Yeah, I know Blaze.
You know Blaze. And they're in Maine, and Maine they're known for beer. They're known for a lot of things, lobster, but they're also known for blueberries.
A brewery's known for beer. Oh my God.
And Blaze.
How novel.
Blaze does a blueberry barbecue wing. That is fantastic.
Didn't we have a blueberry barbecue wings at in Maine at
Liquid
Riot.
We did. They were not as good as Blaze's.
They were good.
But Blaze, I think, has like some sort of chili in it that gives it a spice.
That makes sense. Okay.
I think it was maybe Chipotle. Imagine blueberry Chipotle barbecue wings.
That's interesting. I like that.
Oh, those were so good. West Six Brewing. They're in Tennessee. I'm blanking on the town now. But West Six, there is a seafood shack in the brewery.
Okay.
In the middle of friggin' Tennessee. So you're thinking, okay, well, I've got nothing else to eat. Seafood in the middle of friggin' Tennessee. The goddamn fried fish sandwich that I had there. And they did it with like a slaw on it. So damn good. That's one. Now, you'll hear John and I talk about eating pizza anywhere else other than the tri-state area, and just don't do it.
Okay.
Great progress. So we won't do that.
Sure was in Tennessee. West Six Brewery is in Kentucky.
Kentucky, that's right, Kentucky. Knoxville?
Louisville.
Is it in Louisville?
Louisville, and wait, there's two locations. There's
Lexington. We're in the Lexington one.
Lexington.
Yeah. We're in the Lexington one. That's the one that's got the fish shack in it. So that's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, there you go. Doug just said West Six is in Lexington, Kentucky.
Thank you. Not Tennessee, Lexington, but still, even Kentucky,
Tennessee, Kentucky, potato. Yeah.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm kidding. That was a joke.
Wow, we've just lost to pencil states. But John and I will talk about pizza, and we're pizza snobs because of where we're from, and it's rare that we'll eat pizza from anywhere else. When Carrie and I vacationed in Utah, we drove through northern Arizona, which is basically kind of just southern Utah. And we went to Edge of the World Brewery, and they served pizza there. That's all they had. So we're like, we're really hungry. We need pizza. We got a pizza there. It was fantastic. We couldn't believe how good this friggin' pizza was. So that one. So if you ever get to Edge of the World Brewing, which is it's in the town where they filmed that show about the Mormons with many wives. That's actually where it occurred. But the beer is really good. We had them on the show. No, it was in
Provo?
Arizona. It was in Arizona.
Oh, Arizona.
We had them on the show, if you remember.
Yeah, we did. At Arizona. No, we had a Utah brewery on the show from. You were in Arizona when you were on the show.
No, I was in Utah, and the Arizona brewery was on the show. Edge of the World.
That's right, Edge of the World. Yeah, you're right.
Edge of the World. Barbecue, Atlantic Brewing. This actually right near Acadia.
Atlantic Brewing is amazing. The Bar Harbor Blueberry Ale is my favorite blueberry ale ever.
Coddington Brewing comes close, but you're right. But the barbecue there is very inexpensive and very, very good. Speaking of Coddington, let's talk about burgers. Coddington Brewing in Rhode Island, their burgers are really friggin' good. Le Saint Bach in Montreal. They have this burger that's got arugula. I think there's brie and like blueberry or something on it. It's amazing. But the best part about their burgers is the given side dish is poutine.
Really?
Yeah. So
crazy.
you can swap it out for fries if you want, but who the fuck would swap it out for just plain fries when you want? Give me the fucking protein.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
But one of the best burgers I've ever had. Rough Cut makes amazing burgers. They're in New York.
There you
But the other, another one that makes amazing burgers is Two Rivers in Easton.
Two Rivers in Easton, Pennsylvania has amazing burgers. And I didn't want to go above 3 honorable mentions. Had I known you were going to 14 honorable mentions, I probably would have put them in there. But
that
yeah,
peanut butter bacon burger.
Peanut butter bacon burger is, I mean, I don't need to read the menu. I go in there and that's what I order. So.
They got a buffalo burger, which is really, really good too. I've had that. But the peanut butter bacon burger, if you're not doing that, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're wrong.
100%.
You were going to interject with a comment here.
I was about to. So, but finish what you're saying about the peanut butter bacon burger. Right?
No, I'm done. No, bring the comment up.
All right. The comment is from. First of all, it's from Wanderback Beer Works on YouTube. They're like, "Happy National Lager Day, guys!"
Oh, absolutely.
Cheers. Happy National Lager Day.
Neither one of them drink. Oh, you're drinking a lager. I'm not.
I'm drinking a lager. You're not,
drinking,
but I'm drinking. I'm drinking an amazing Schwarzbier from
a black lager
from Coastal Beer Works. There you go. So,
and you're familiar with the brewery,
but I'm a little familiar with the brewery.
You may know them.
There you go. But cheers. But yes, happy National Lager Day. Appreciate you tuning in. And Brian Boak just said next beer, Drownland Black Gold Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Stout.
Drownlands make such good stuff.
Mm-hmm. They do. And I actually, hold on. I'm going to put this back and grab. I can't reach it anyway. I won't. I have a Drownlands over there I was going to grab, but anyway.
You can't reach it right now?
Well, I can, but it's going to knock some stuff over, so I'm not going to bother.
So Wonderback they're down in Vineland. I'm wondering if it's Justin, Brian, or Chris who's commenting right now. Need to get down there. Do you? I wonder if they have a tap room. I don't, and how long they've been open. Because I don't know about you, Johnny, but they've not been on my radar of places need to visit. I've been to Vineland. I've been to Cowtown. They're just off the Vineland. If you come over across the Delman Bridge.
He just said, nice releasing our Dock Lager this week.
Oh, beautiful.
Got to get some of that, guys. And he said no tap room yet.
There we go. So it's just distro at this point. Okay, good. Well, not good. I can't wait for a tap room. You
let me know.
Tap room, we'll get down there.
Comment in on message on Facebook. Whatchamacallit, where you're releasing the Dark Lager, because I definitely want to pick some of that up.
Yeah.
And we'll talk. And we got to get you guys on the show too. So definitely comment, message us on Facebook. Yep. Just go to the Lager Room guys on Facebook and send it in. Unless you want to just go to the contact page on the website, either or. But let us know. Let me know where the Dark Lagers get released, and we'll get you guys on the show soon too.
Yeah, I love to look at the cans too. They've got a really interesting.
Will do. Can't wait. Absolutely, dude.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Absolutely.
So we'll do that, and maybe get all three of you guys on the show.
Absolutely.
So you were talking about pretzels.
Oh yeah.
So Appanog Brewing is in a part one. So if you remember, I lived in like this old mill. So they'd taken this old mill in Rhode Island and turned it into apartments.
Sure. By the way, what number are you up to? Because you have 13. I'm just curious.
6.
Jesus. Rattle through a few of them.
I'm gonna try to, but this one needs a little time because they took a lot of these old mills, these old production facilities, turned them into apartments, and some of them actually had retail in them, and one of them actually had a brewery in it, Appanog. And Appanog did this pretzel. The pretzel was good, but the cool thing about it is, so anybody's seen like a big German pretzel that's got the 3 different holes in it, right?
Yes, I'm aware.
And what Appanog did
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and Appanog filled those holes with sliced sausage.
Appanog filled the holes with sausage. Listen to what he just said, people. Okay.
There was slices of...
Filled the holes with sausage.
One of them had kielbasa.
I didn't say it.
One of them had bratwurst.
All right.
I forget what the third hole was filled with.
Knockwurst,
Possibly.
Weisswurst.
No, I think it was knockwurst. And they had they had the beer cheese and some mustards. And man, that was so damn good.
There you go.
That was really good. Let me see. Anything else that's really, really worth bringing up here? Oh God, the Plowman's lunch at Ship In.
Oh, you know what? You know what? I got to be honest with you. You just said that. It literally just popped in mind a second ago. I feel bad that we didn't even say anything about Joe's food at Descendants.
So it's all British.
Everything.
It's mostly British, but the Plowman's lunch. What's great about it? It's the bobolink dairy cheeses.
Yep.
That he uses for the Plowman's lunch.
Yep.
It's just a wonderful platter that he puts out, and I absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love it.
And I'll tell you this right now. If I had to pick one food now, every food he has there, and he switches up the menu a lot, but there's a few things that he keeps on, a few staples he keeps on. And this is Descendants Brewing. Now, if anybody that knows this, anybody from Jersey or is familiar with Jersey anyway, the first brewery, if you will, for that matter, it was a brew pub in New Jersey, was the Old Ship Inn, and that's out in Milford, New Jersey.
And that's now Descendants.
And now it's Descendants Brewing at the Old Ship Inn, right?
Yep.
So the brewery, the beer, the brewing is Descendants Brewing Company, and the food and the restaurant is the Old Ship Inn still, right? But the Scotch egg that he makes there,
oh God, yes,
so damn good. And as a quick aside, all right, on Friday, January 3rd, okay, Friday, January 3rd. So technically, was that 3 weeks from this Friday? I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Right? 3 weeks from this Friday. Friday, January 3rd, is the 30th anniversary of craft beer in New Jersey. That's when
that started then.
That's when Old Ship Inn opened up. Blah 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 blah. Right. And Joe is having Descendants, and Old Ship is having a festival that day. And one of the breweries, and there will be many breweries there. One of the breweries just happens to be
Coastal Brewers.
Coastal Brewers.
I may have to take the day off and get down there.
So we will be.
Because I get a lot of time off.
There you go. So we'll be there that day, and it will be a fun day. And yeah, anybody that's anywhere near Milford, New Jersey, that can get out to Descendants Brewing at the Old Ship Inn on Friday, January 3rd. Come out. You will see me. You will see Matt, and you probably will see Dave.
You might see the Samurai.
It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. But that aside, all of that aside, the food there is ridiculous. And as a separate aside,
the whiskey.
He has the best bourbon list in the entire damn state of New Jersey.
Just ask him, and 3 hours later, you'll understand how good the list is.
Mm-hmm.
I've only got two more honorable mentions left.
Go for it. Rattle them off, and then we'll wrap the show.
Mac and cheese. If you want a mac and cheese that is going to send you into cardiac arrest, get to Druthers.
Yeah.
Holy, they bring it out in a cast iron skillet.
I would agree with that. I would agree with the food at Druthers is very good.
But John knows this, I saved maybe the best for last. One of my favorite places on the planet is Lake Placid. Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite places there is Lake Placid Brewing. Mm-hmm. And they do their meatball parm, their chicken parm, that is.
I have never had anything from Lake Placid, from food from Lake Placid Brewing. The brown ale,
you've been there and had ubu?
Oh, please, of course.
You've got to go.
I've never eaten at Lake Placid Brewing.
If you ever do, they do fish and chips.
I love fish and chips.
But they have a twist. They call it firefish. And what they do is they take the fish and they dip it in buffalo sauce.
Hold on. They fry it and then dip it in buffalo sauce, or they
dip
it in buffalo sauce, then they fry it.
They fry it and dip it in buffalo sauce.
Nice.
And the fact that this is the only place I've ever seen that saddens me that no one else has ever thought of this.
I've never even thought of it. And I've made my own fish and chips from time to time too. So
and it just makes all the sense in the world to have done this. They do this. It's one of my favorite things there. I've been there so many times. I've drank so many Ubus there. John knows Ubu's one of my favorite beers.
Hello.
When I'm drinking it there, not in the bottles or the cans that we get distributed, because that comes out of a different brewery. The stuff that you get at the Lake Placid Brew Pub is brewed at Lake Placid, and it's different.
Right.
Drink it there; it's revelatory. But the food there is so damn good. Definitely.
100%. I agree. 100%. All right.
How can you agree? You've never had the food. You're agreeing with the Ubu.
I agree with the Ubu. You were just saying, don't drink it don't just rely on it drinking out of can and distribution. Drink it at the brewery. That's what I said.
But the food definitely, the food's amazing there.
All right. Cool. Well, we do apologize to everybody that was expecting to hear from Trevor. We hope we covered Pittsburgh and Coven Brewing.
And we hope we did them justice.
Now, we by no means do we think that we covered what Trevor would have covered.
No,
Coven Brewing.
We're obviously missing not having Trevor on the show to talk about.
There's a lot of specifics when they opened, what they do, so forth and so on, any events coming up or whatever. But that will happen in time. We have to reschedule him. But other than that.
But if you go to Pittsburgh and you skip Coven, you're missing out.
You don't skip Coven. If you go, here's the thing. Both of us, and Dave will agree with us. Yeah. We're gonna give you the best itinerary advice. If you're going to Pittsburgh, make sure you're going to Pittsburgh for enough days, because there's a lot of things that you need to visit.
If you think that 3 days is enough, you're wrong.
No, you know what? You could. Here's the thing, and this goes for a lot of towns. I mean, this goes for Boston. This goes for Portland, Maine.
Baltimore,
this goes for Baltimore. This goes for Richmond, Asheville. Write us in if you're going to any of these towns. Write in, and if you're saying we're going for a day, where do we need to hit? We're going for 2 days. Where do we need to hit? Hang on.
Right, Sean. I have no idea how to get to my email. I still don't.
No, just write into the.
Oh, okay.
I'll get to how in a minute. I'm trying to say something. We're going for a day to this location. We're going for 2 days, 3 days, 4 or 5, whatever, and we'll tell you where to go in that time frame and give you enough time at each place. Right?
Yeah, your priority list
for that amount of time that you're going to be in there. Now, you can write into either to the website, or which is www.logroom.com. There's a contact form in there. You can click that and write in your comment, or write on the Facebook page or the Instagram page or YouTube for that matter.
Or you can write on the bathroom wall in Carton, and
we'll see it.
And we'll see that, and we'll
see it. We'll see it. Yeah. So, but write in.
Don't do that, Augie will.
But specifically about Pittsburgh, though. There is so much to do. You may think that Pittsburgh, if you've never been before, if you've been before, you know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But if you have never been before, there is so much, as crazy as this might seem to you if you've never been before. And Pittsburgh is a big town, but it's small. It's right there in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. There is some craft beer wise and food wise, for that matter. There's so much to do. You're going to need more than a day or two. All right. So
I don't think 3 days is enough for Pittsburgh.
4 or 5.
I think 5 is.
Yeah. I mean, if you do a Thursday to a Monday, we could probably get you to a lot of the high points.
Yeah. It's funny because when we were there, Pittsburgh hosts the largest convention for furries.
Yeah.
And while we were there, the furries were in town.
There you
go. Which the weekend of July 4th is probably not the best thing to have a bunch of people in these massive furry costumes.
Probably not. No.
But they took the town over, and Pittsburgh loves to have them. They absolutely love to have them there.
They do.
It's a highlight of their year is to have the furries in town for that convention.
There you go.
But if the furries disturb you a little bit, don't go the week of July 4th. That's definitely a niche thing, but there is really so much to do there. And if you skip the Heinz Museum, you've done it wrong.
Oh, you got to go to Heinz Museum.
You have to go to the Heinz Museum.
And not visit and just hit one floor. You need to spend some time there and visit every floor because it's not just ketchup. It's Pittsburgh history. Yes. It's sports. It's everything about the town. You need to go there.
You need to go there.
All right. And it's not just if you're thinking, I don't need to find out about ketchup. It's bullshit. You need to go there.
It's also Revolutionary War history of that valley.
Everything. It's everything about the town and everything you could think of that had to do with Pittsburgh.
And don't miss the Warhol Museum either.
No, you need to go to Andy Warhol Museum.
Yeah,
you need to walk through. Even if you're not a sports fan, you need to walk over to Heinz Field. I know it's Acrisure Stadium now. I still call it Heinz Field. You need to get over there and you
get
to
go over to the water.
You need to right. And you need to go over to the waterfront and see the Mr. Rogers.
Oh my God, the Mr. Rogers. If you're of Gen X, the Mr. Rogers thing it'll to quote Fonzie, it'll make you misty.
Make you a little misty.
Yeah.
Am I getting a little misty?
It's very, very extremely well done. I was so impressed with the audio.
Yes, the audio is very well there. Very cool there.
But it's and what's really cool is there was we were there. I want to take a picture of the Mr. Rogers statue, and there's someone kind of lounged out in front of it, and they saw me just kind of milling about waiting for them. Like, oh God, I'm so sorry. You want a picture of the statue, don't you? They were very cool about it, which was very different from my experience in Seattle when I wanted a picture of Jimi Hendrix, the Jimi Hendrix statue. There was someone camping out on that.
Right.
Yeah, I told you that story, right?
You did, yeah.
Yeah, the guy was very adamant, and I got him to move, but he was just like fucking Taurus. But no, it's the people of Pittsburgh are fantastic. These are the things to see. That clock. Did you see the clock that's near the Mr. Rogers?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
That clock is really cool. Look at the history of that. That is fantastic. So much cool shit to do in Pittsburgh.
100%. Yeah, you need to get to those places. There's a lot to do in Pittsburgh. Just check it out. I mean, if you want some advice, by all means, we will let you know. Write us in. Go to the website. Go to Facebook. Write us in on Facebook. Write us on Instagram. We'll give you some suggestions. And that goes honestly. That doesn't just go for Pittsburgh. That goes for any town. That goes for
any town that we've been to.
Yeah, I mean that goes for Portland, Maine. That goes for Boston. That goes for Newport or anywhere in Rhode Island. That goes for Burlington, Vermont. It goes for
you said Asheville,
New York, Asheville, Richmond, Baltimore.
And there's places John's been that I've not like Denver.
Nashville, anywhere in Florida, Denver, Minneapolis. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin.
That's so when you get to the Midwest, that's mostly John.
Mm-hmm.
Start talking international, Dublin, Munich.
Mm-hmm.
Those things I can probably help you out with some of that stuff. We've been around. We've seen a few things.
We've seen a couple things. Yeah. So, and even out to the West Coast, California, Vegas.
I've been to Vancouver, Seattle, and San
Seattle, Portland, Oregon.
I've not been to Portland, Oregon yet.
So,
have you been to Portland, Oregon?
I have not, but I know a bunch of stuff in Portland. I know enough to tell people where to go in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, you like to tell people where to go, don't you?
San Francisco.
I've drank around
San Francisco. Yeah, of course. L.A., San Diego. Been down there. We got just anywhere you're going. Let us know. We'll guide you, and we'll.
And I forget what the dates are, but I'll be in San Francisco later this year.
Mm-hmm.
I've already talked to Kevy.
Later this year is only 2.5 weeks away, so it's probably later.
No, later. I think it's like September or something.
That would be next year.
Next year. Oh, later next year. Sorry.
There you go.
Later next year, I will be in San Fran. I've already told Kevy. I want to shift behind bar.
There you go.
I want to ship behind bar, but I also want to do the show from Alameda Brewery.
It's not a bad idea. So, all right, folks. On that note, we will wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, which is now X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, CastBox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you will find the Lager Room Guys Craft Beer Podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. Enjoy the holiday season. Keep enjoying the holiday season. We got a lot more holiday stuff coming up for you.
Enjoy it with us. We've got some stuff.
Enjoy it with us. Yep. And we will talk to you next week, folks.
And to be fair, as expected, as this warmed up, the coffee started to take over.
100%.
And this balanced out. Really, really good. I really enjoyed this.
There you have it.
There you go.
All right, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers.